What made you think about working towards rural empowerment? Why did you think we needed it?
Actually, Swades, in a thought process and a germ, started 30 years back. In the beginning, it was more about being opportunistic about giving back and then looking at rural India. There was a lot happening in urban places, and therefore we felt rural was not totally, it was ignored to quite an extent.
स्वदेश फाउंडेशन ने देश के आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अवसर पर 75 गांवों को ड्रीम विलेज यानी सपनों का गांव घोषित किया है। संपूर्ण विकसित राष्ट्र और आत्मनिर्भर भारत के संकल्पित दिशा में रखा हुआ यह एक सराहनीय और सकारात्मक कदम है।
What we really want to do is we want to create a model for rural development. Our dream is not, it's a big dream. Okay, I mean, we want to lift 1 million people out of poverty every 5 years.
The Swades initiative is a 360-degree holistic model, which addresses healthcare, education, water, sanitation.
We follow a 4E strategy at Swades, and 4E stands for first engage, then empower, execute and exit.
Their model is a holistic model which covers education, healthcare, agriculture, livelihoods and entrepreneurs.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Republic TV. I'm Niranjan Narayan Swami and you're watching the second episode of Swades Foundation's Swa Se Bane Desh, an initiative towards rural empowerment. In today's episode, we will dive even deeper into the various initiatives of the Swades Foundation and talk about some of the key areas they are working towards. With us in the studio today, we have Ronnie Screwvala, we have Zarina Screwvala, and they are the co-founders of Swades Foundation, Mr. Mangesh Wange, who's the CEO at Swades. Welcome to the show, Ronnie. Welcome to the show, Zarina and Mr. Mangesh.
Again.
We
had a good chat some time back on the other
Fantastic
first episode.
Chat.
And yeah.
Let me start straight with Ronnie. You spoke about a lot on exit policy, which is basically making villages Atmanirbhar, self-reliant.
Yes.
Right? How do you make sure the change that you make in a village is permanent? And how do you know this is the right time to exit a village? And what after that?
At the core for everyone, where do we really take charge of ourselves? When we're in control of our own destiny. And I think what people in rural feel is that they're not in control of their own destiny. So when we walk in there, that's what we size up. And when we walk out, we want them to be very clear they are independent. So one, the minute you give them water and sanitation, they just feel they're on par with people. Then you look at the fact that education, which is the most important thing that any parent would think about for their future generation, something they didn't have.
Yes.
But now they feel they need to give.
Yes.
And if you're moving as a nation as the third largest economy in the world, this is going to be at the core.
Yes.
Health, unfortunately, is a perennial problem. But finally, at the end of the day, to put money in the pocket of people, to feel you're in control of your own destiny is really the core. That's the holy grail.
Zarina, you've been speaking about the multiplier effect. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about the multiplier effect, especially in areas like healthcare. He spoke a little bit about that. What is this multiplier effect and how does it work?
You know, when we went to visit the villages, and in my mind, the question is, Niranjan, if I asked you, your mom's in the village, your mother lives there.
Yes.
What would she do without? What would you not do for her?
Yes.
You would try and do everything for her.
Yes.
Okay? So we took it on, and it is hard, but we decided to have a holistic approach. And the multiplier effect is very beautiful to see. It's obvious, but it's not also. So for example, when we first gave a tap in every home, drinking water in every home, and a toilet, an individual household toilet in every home, one of the most surprising aspects for me, of course, the health improved. But one day, all these ladies started walking towards me. I went to the village and they were walking very purposefully. So I got a little like, what's going on? So they came and said, you've given us water and you've given us a toilet. And now, and I was thinking, what? We have a lot of time. We want to work.
Wow.
And they started building their SAGs. So this was the beginning of women's empowerment.
Yeah.
So an individual household and a toilet and tap water leads to ladies having time, energy, and the ability to earn for themselves. And when we first started, Niranjan, we were media people.
Yes.
What do we know about poverty? What is poverty? Okay? And then, as Ronnie said, we took a year to study, and we realized there are two kinds of poverty. One is material poverty, and one is mental poverty. And Niranjan, the mental poverty is critical to solve. What is mental poverty? It is the lack of an ability to dream of a better future for myself and my children. And for me, and for Ronnie, and for all of us at Swades, that is the most heartbreaking thing about poverty. When we can remove that,
Yes.
and you can see, when you see the videos of the dream villages, you can see the hope shining in the faces of the dream villages. And that's our real strength, and that is what we do, and I think that's our real achievement. We brought hope back.
And that's the real India that we don't really talk about in our day-to-day narrative, right? And on that note, let's listen into what Vidya Balan has to say about the impact access to clean water and sanitation has on people and its growing necessity in rural India.
How much impact can clean water and sanitation have on anyone? I think I can go on and on and on about that. But I think while everyone gets impacted, it is the women whose lives change first. It's fantastic, therefore, that the Swades Foundation has built, 26,500 toilets, which has impacted more than a lakh. I think it's almost 1,15,000 people. And they've also, I think, managed to bring about a positive change within the Adivasi community. There have been additional efforts made, and which I have fructified also. And I think access to potable water has been provided through taps in almost 42,000 homes, impacting more than 2 lakh people. And I think this is just absolutely fantastic. Boon boon se banta hai sagar, and they are actually making a sea change in the lives of all those villagers in the larger community and in the country, therefore. I think just amazing. It's absolutely amazing, the work that the Swades Foundation is doing, and more power to them for that.
One of the key factors in Swades Foundation's agenda of rural development is providing a sustainable source for water and sanitation. Let's watch this amazing story.
A long and dangerous trek to fetch a bucket of water was a daily routine for the women of Vasunde Dhangarwada. The unavailability of water, along with a lack of sanitation and road connectivity, made the life of the villagers miserable. Women like Lalita have spent their entire life just fetching water day in and day out, leaving them completely exhausted and deprived of quality family time.
पाणी भरताना आमचे लय लय त्रास व्हायचा. येता येता रस्त्यात पडायचो बी किती. पाणी पियाला मिळत नसायचं. डिलिव्हरी झाली तर पाणी नसायचं. मग ते बाईने काय करायचंय? तसलं लहान बाळ ठेवून शेणी 4 किलोमीटर पाणी भरायला जायचंय.
The arrival of Swades Foundation was like a blessing for the people of Vasunde Dhangarwada. Swades provided water to every household through connected taps. With water connectivity at home, the women now had more time for their family and other productive work.
आम्हाला एवढं सुख वाटलंय. आम्हाला सगळं शेतीचं काम का गुरांचं काम याच्या सगळं मुलांच्या शिक्षणासाठी का आमचं लेकरू लहान असलं तरी त्यामध्ये आनंदाने घेऊन बसतो सुखाने. नाहीतर आम्हाला हे सुख अजिबात लाभन असं इच्छा नव्हती. पण आता आम्ही सुखी आहोत.
Today, the people of Vasunde Dhangarwada are not only working towards the development of their village, but also sharing a part of the water they get with the neighboring Adivasi community, thus living up to the true philosophy of Swa se bane des.
That was really a moving story, and hats off to the entire Swades team, Ronnie, Mangesh and Zarina. Hats off to all of you for the change that you've brought to the lives of these villagers. Now, before I come back to you and the panel here in the Republic TV studios, let's first listen into Kaushik Shaparia, the CEO of Deutsche Bank India, on what made them associate the group with the Swades Foundation.
Well, at the outset, I should mention that Deutsche Bank is really committed to India growth story, which is not only supporting its economy, but also enabling its communities to prosper. And as responsible corporate citizens, we really need to work with the right NGOs along with our own staff members towards programs which we support. With Swadesh, we've been working for the last 6 years, which has enabled us to work with rural household by providing basic access to clean water, water for irrigation, which has really enabled us to transform life of 55,000 people. This year has been really a monumental year for us, where we have planted 1 lakh trees to provide additional income for farmers over their non-cultivable land. This, along with the volunteering work done by our staff members towards planting of trees, as well as working with rural children to provide support towards their basic communication skills as well as financial literacy, has made this program a real success. I really feel that Swadesh, its leadership team, Ronnie, Zarina, Mangesh, and every member of the team, I think the passion with which they work is really exemplary. I would really like to acknowledge Swadesh Foundation for its brilliant work it does towards the rural transformation journey. I wish them great luck towards the 75 dream villages, and really grateful to them for having a Deutsche Bank partner with them on this exciting journey.
Well, that was Kaushik Shaparia, the CEO of Deutsche Bank India. Coming back to Zarina now. Zarina, education is one of the most important factors for any individual, right? Without education, I mean, you can't dream, you can't aspire. Now, the Swades Foundation's education drive has impacted, and I have some of the numbers, more than 1.3 lakh children in 1,361 schools, 806 Anganwadis, 41 junior colleges. Now, how important do you think education is for the nurturing of the future of villages?
It's vital. What can I say? And as you so rightly said just now, that it's not about just reading and writing. It's about creativity. It's about problem solving. It's about building confidence. It is about dealing with people, working in groups. There's so much to education that we don't, it's the most vital thing, I think. It's one of the most vital things. One of the things we've realized is that we really need to get the community involved in the education of their children. And the other day, I think one of our favorite, at least my favorite program, one of them, many, is the scholarship program. And the other day, all of us at Swades met some of our graduate study scholarship. And it was really moving because Rani asked them, introduce yourselves, tell us your dream. So they started getting up, and somebody got up and said, I am Dr. Priyanka now.
Oh.
Yeah, I am Dr. Surbi now. These are real girls, and we all clapped, everyone clapped, and they have dreams.
Just to add, one more thing we observed, all these kids, during COVID, they did not sit back at home. They went back to villages, many of them. They were already in villages also. They taught younger kids because schools were closed on their own.
We call them bridging classes.
No one told them. They started doing bridging classes.
On that note, let's watch the story of how Swades Foundation is aspiring the youth to dream for a better future.
Bhumika was always a meritorious student, but a financial crunch in the family meant she might have to drop out of school, cutting short her dreams. Her dreams got new wings when she was introduced to Swades Foundation's Mass Scholarship program, which allowed her to pursue further studies.
स्वदेश फाउंडेशन आमच्या गावात आले होते आणि त्यांच्या स्कॉलरशिपपासूनच मी पुढचे शिक्षण घेऊ शकले. मला पुढे फॅशन डिझायनर व्हायचं आहे. मी स्वदेश फाउंडेशनच्या मदतीमुळे मी माझे हे स्वप्न पूर्ण करू शकते.
Swades Foundation has been working actively towards providing a quality education in rural Maharashtra. They have impacted more than 1.3 lakh children through their holistic approach of development, which includes providing scholarships to training teachers and staff and upgrading institutional infrastructure. Bhumika is not only working hard towards achieving her dream, she also voluntarily conducts bridging classes for kids so no one misses out on education in her village as a way of giving back to her community.
Well, it's truly an aspiring story, and lakhs of students like Bhumika can now dare to dream of a better future. It's time for a short break now, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching a special broadcast on Republic TV of Swades Foundation's Swa Se Bane Des. It's a special broadcast. Ronnie, Zarina and Mangesh are in our studios. Take a short break. Come back soon. Welcome back to the special broadcast of Swades Foundation's Swa Se Bane Des in association with Republic TV. Ronnie, healthcare, we've been speaking about it. One of the biggest concerns in rural India, access to quality healthcare or healthcare at all. What are the steps taken by your foundation, and how is it helping create a sustainable healthcare system in these villages?
So I think at the core of it, when we started off, there is an ASHA worker in every village, right? And we sort of merge that into what we would call our Swades Mitras or our Swades Mitras. And I think at the core, that accessibility to have a one person who's going to be the point person for everyone was a good starting point to create that comfort level. Second, I think health is complicated because it's multiple. So there's a lot of self-care that needs to take place. One was the prenatal and postnatal part, which is the most life-threatening in many aspects. The second obviously was anemia and malnutrition and everything to do with that. And then the third one was eye care. And then the one other one which we really touched our hearts and we wanted to be was when it came to infants or young kids. So either hearing impaired, visually impaired, which is almost like blind, or orally impaired, and heart. These four, we take care of it in a holistic manner, diagnose the people at that early stage. If you have to do an open heart surgery, whatever it takes to get there, to get them back to a life that they know they can take forward.
We wanted to also touch generally the village, primary healthcare generally in the village. These are community volunteers, 2,000 women we have trained, of which 60% are still active over the last 10 years.
And what does a Mitra do?
So she goes from door to check on certain parameters. She has a kit. She's a very proud woman and she's really a leader of the village now.
One is Swades Mitra is like a frontline healthcare volunteers.
Correct.
So the basic primary healthcare, and they have this kit. Second part is creating awareness about good health habits in the village, cleanliness, hygiene. And during COVID, we have seen the fantastic work which these Swades Mitras have done.
Really amazing.
And especially in the first wave.
No, it makes sense now. Makes sense. And talking about healthcare, let's listen into Dr. Devi Shetty, founder, chairman, Narayana Health, on Swades Foundation's drive on improving healthcare in rural areas and how they are making it sustainable.
As a senior doctor of the country, I have been witnessing thousands of NGOs working at the rural healthcare front, and they're doing a fantastic job. But among all of them, I'm really, really impressed with the way Swadesh has gone around in trying to address the problem of grassroots level of malnutrition and other health problems affecting the children. Overall, Swadesh has done a wonderful job, and I would like to congratulate each and every member of Swadesh for doing the God's work. Thank you.
Such encouraging words from the man himself, Dr. Devi Shetty. Let's quickly see how the same is being implemented on the ground by the Swades Foundation.
When little Anushka was diagnosed with a major cardiac problem, Roshni, her mother, was completely helpless. She neither had the resource nor access to quality treatment for her child. It was during this difficult period that she got introduced to Swades Foundation's healthcare program. Anushka got her heart surgery done at one of the top hospitals of Mumbai and is now living a healthy life.
3-4 वेळा तर आम्ही फोर्टिसमध्ये मुलुंडमध्ये फोर्टिस हॉस्पिटलला घेऊन गेलो, पण एवढ्या वेळात आमच्याकडून एकही रुपया त्यांनी घेतला नाही. तिचं ऑपरेशन झाला व्यवस्थित, सक्सेसफुल झाला. आता तिला कोणताही त्रास नाही.
Swades, through its healthcare program, provides treatment for cardiac, anemia, visual and hearing related problems for children and vision care for adults. The foundation has also trained more than 2,000 community health workers called the Swades Mitras, who are capable of providing paramedical aid to their local community.
स्वदेश मित्र जे नेमलेले आहेत त्यांच्या माध्यमातून प्राथमिक आरोग्य केंद्रातले असणारे उपक्रम हे गावा पातळीवरती लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचवण्याकरता त्याचा चांगला उपयोग जनमानसामध्ये होत आहे.
Roshni has also volunteered as a Swades Mitra. Along with keeping a tab on her daughter's health, she now looks after the health of the entire village as her way of giving back to the society.
truly commendable work done by the Swades Mitras like Roshni, who are taking care of the entire village. Zarina, we spoke about that. You've always talked about aspiring and aspirations being the toughest part of changing an individual or a community. We've spoken about that. Why is aspiration so important, and how do you imbibe it into their thought process?
Well, actually, you have to imbibe it into their hearts.
Yes.
Not into their head.
Yes.
You know, I think the most important work we do is to really remove this mental poverty that I spoke of earlier.
Yes.
It is really one of the most terrible things when we go to the village and we see no hope, no idea how to move forward and change anything.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we do. We build hope, we build aspiration, we allow them, we give them the tools with which to dream.
Mangesh, what are the future plans for Swades Foundation, and are you going to expand to other states as well? Something that I started off asking both Ronnie and Zarina.
Oh yes, so first is Raigad, where now the journey
Yes.
is almost getting complete.
Yeah.
Now in Nashik we are kind of work in progress. It is another 3 to 4 years journey, but simultaneously we are evaluating few more districts in Maharashtra and also adjoining state from Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat as well.
What Zaina mentioned earlier, the model that we're creating is something we could be happy to help other people do that.
Finally, Ronnie, your thoughts on the initiative and your message to all our viewers. I think it's on a personal note, it's been fantastic speaking to all of you and just hearing the stories and how simple ideas can change so much, right? And change the lives of so many people. You're going to touch 1 million people soon, and I wish you all the best, but your final...
Yeah, no, I think two messages. I think for young India, the perception that you need to have something in your bank or you need to be older to give back is a fallacy. I think when Zaina and I started, we started in our 20s.
Yeah.
And started looking at giving back. And today, the sweat equity of what people give back in volunteering in India is incredible. And the second one is we're all very, very proud of the nation that we're all building. We're very proud of where we will get in the next 5 and 7 years. But without rural and urban engagement together, and we're bringing it together, and without looking over your shoulder and seeing that somebody else is pari passu and same as you,
Yeah.
we're not going to be able to change a country.
No, I think that's very well said, very well said. And if anything, this has been an inspiring journey and fills us with a lot of pride to know that there are people who are working relentlessly towards empowerment of the deprived. And with that, we come to the end of this final episode of Swades Foundation's Swa Se Bane Des. Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank
you,
you.
Zarina. And thank you, Mr. Mangesh, for being a part of the show. And all the very best to the entire team at Swadesh.
And thanks to everyone on Republic TV for really
Always.
taking the care, getting the sensitivity, getting the stories out from everyone. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
We're very proud to be associated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank
all
you.
the best.
Thank
More
you.
power to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.